Right, back on the IS200 today, we're going to be finishing up the fab work. Intercooler piping's done, everything's mounted. Last thing to do before we can fire it up is do the exhaust. So let's get stuck into it. So in terms of what we're gonna make, it's nothing too crazy. We've got our top mount exhaust manifold and our Garrett turbo, and we've got a 50mm Turbo Smart wastegate. And what we need to do is fit a 4-inch downpipe. Now, since we are going for a sort of higher power level, we do want to get a 4-inch downpipe in here. Now, it is pretty tight in terms of space, but I think we'll make it work. I've got heaps of goodies to make the exhaust, so let's go through it and let's start making it. All right, so the guys at X-Force Exhaust have graciously sent us a bunch of stuff to make an exhaust. They've sent us all their cool parts, so I'm gonna go through each little part, show you where it's used in the custom fab process and why these are the right parts to use. So we've got a 4-inch exhaust and we've got all the bends and stuff to make 4-inch exhaust, and then we've got a 50mm screamer, 50mm wastegate setup, and then they've also sent us a bunch of stuff like V-band clamps, pie cut kits, and then of course a bunch of mandrel bends to get the job done. Now, what better way to get started than to just get stuck into it? Okay, so the trickiest section of the whole exhaust is the downpipe. While we can fit a piece of 4-inch pipe in there, so that's our validity check, our 4-inch exhaust will fit. Problem is the back of the Garrett turbo, it's only a 3-inch V-band, so we need to step that up to a 4-inch. Now, that's where this little guy comes in handy. This is an X-Force 3-inch to 4-inch stainless expander or reducer. That's gonna go on the back of the turbo, and then that's gonna give us that 4-inch exhaust that we need, and then we'll go straight down. Now, I'm not a professional fabricator or welder by any means, so we're only using basic tools. All we've got is like an angle grinder, a couple spanners and ratchets and stuff, a bunch of pipe and a welder. Now, we are going to be TIG welding this system, but you can also MIG weld it, whatever's easy for you. I'm just trying to make it look a little bit nicer, so I'm gonna TIG weld it. First thing I'm gonna do is weld that expander onto our turbo. Now, when you're welding onto a V-band, just make sure that your V-band is clamped to a turbo. Otherwise, what you'll notice is the clamp will actually warp and it'll never make a good seal. Now, when I'm welding stainless steel, this is the torch setup I like to use. It's a 14 cup with a 1.6mm tungsten, and I use a 1.2mm stainless filler rod. Welder I've got is just a regular Unimig, nothing special, just a basic welder that most people have. When I'm doing exhaust work, I like to tack it in a few spots. That way it's not gonna warp or anything, and then I'll fully weld it. That's our V-band welded. Let's get it on the car and tack the next part. Okay, so after a bunch of back and forth, this is the general shape of the downpipe I came up with. Now, if it was a street car, I would also recommend putting a flexible section in here, but being that we've got very stiff, basically solid engine mount, shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, that's the general shape. Now we've got to weld it up. Now, again, in an ideal world, what you would do is actually purge the inside of the pipe with argon and have gas flowing on the inside and outside. Like I said, we're balling on a budget here, not a perfect weld, so we're just gonna weld the outsides and do our best to get good penetration. Now, what you wanna do is, before you weld it, tack it a bunch in like 5 or 6 different spots on each pipe. Being stainless steel, as you heat it, it will warp and change shape. So tack it as much as you can before you finish weld it so that it doesn't warp. All right, now we've got the downpipe down here, just about to finish welding it. We just want to make sure that the rest of the exhaust is going to be nice and tight, but it's also going to fit. Now this is where the X-Force V-bands come in handy. Now these X-Force V-bands make it really, really easy. You don't need any tools to tighten them. You simply just clip it on like that. We can make sure there's enough clearance for everything, and we can take our bit of pipe, get it on there. We can see there's enough clearance for everything, and now we're ready to take it off. All we do, flick the clamp off, and that's it, nice and easy. Okay, now that we've got the downpipe done and the exhaust is exiting under the car, from here it's really, really simple. All I do is take a bit of pipe, the size I'm gonna be using, so I've got a 4-inch pipe here, and I basically just run it down the car and make sure that it's gonna fit everywhere. Now I can see one issue already, and the issue is back here near the diff. Even if we were touching the subframe, the exhaust is gonna sit super low, but there's nothing we can really do about it. So I think for now, it's gonna have to go like that. And then if the subframe ever comes out, I'll actually notch it and reinforce it, and then the exhaust can sit a bit higher. So what I'll do is I'll put a V-band back here so that the rear section is separate and I won't have to remake the whole exhaust. Thinking we'll probably put a V-band somewhere here, and then the rear section can be one piece. So we'll have a midsection, a front section, and a rear section. So yeah, we basically just run the pipe down the whole way like we're gonna make it, and that'll give us an idea of what bends and things we need. Now back here it's gonna be very, very tight, so we can do the pie cuts again, or I'll show you what else we can do. So when things get tight, we've got a few options. So these are our regular mandrel bends. These just have a long radius and they're great. You know, they're really easy to use, they're already bent. You can cut them into any angle you like. But what we also have is a donut. Now a donut is good because it's actually got a tighter radius than the mandrel bend, and you can just cut as many angles as you want out of it. So you can basically do a full exhaust with 1, maybe 2 donuts. So it's a really good value way to do it, and you get really tight bends out of it. Only thing with this is you'll need more straight pipe. So sort of weigh out pros and cons and go that route, but we're going to be using a mixture of both to get the exhaust that we need. Let's get into it. All right, now obviously this would only work if you're on a hoist. If you're on the floor, things will be a little bit different. But what I like to do is get a axle stand. Now the jack stand part definitely works when you're on the floor, but what I do is take a transmission jack. You can obviously get the exhaust stands, but I just take a transmission jack with a jack stand and I use that to help me sit the exhaust where I want it. All right, so I've actually got my TIG pedal set up on the floor. If you've got a TIG torch with a button, that'll make it easier, but I just connect the ground up and I just have my TIG torch set up so I can tack everything on the car. The downpipe being a small piece, it's obviously easier to just mark it and weld it all on the bench, but when you've got a full exhaust that's, you know, 3 or 4 meters long, I find it easier to tack everything on the car and then take it off and then weld it all. But yeah, nothing really different with this part of the process. Just put a piece up to the thing, mark it, cut it over and over again until you have full exhaust. All right, so I'm gonna bring the exhaust back here and I'm probably gonna try sneak a muffler in here just because it's needed for some competitions. And then back here, I've decided that that's way too tight. I'm gonna have to do 290s, restrict flow, and it's just not gonna be a good idea. So what I'm gonna do is cut the boot floor out. I don't need a boot floor for what I'm doing. Obviously being a full race car, there's nothing in here. So I'm just gonna cut it out. And then since the back is sort of an aesthetic thing for when the bumper comes off, I'm gonna cut it here. So we're just cutting out the base of the boot floor. Now in 99% of aftermarket applications, you're going to need to add a O2 sensor bung. Now some OEM styles don't use a threaded hole, but like I said, 99% it's going to use a threaded hole. They're pretty much all the same thread and you can buy a bunch of different bungs. I like these step style ones because you can actually just drill a hole, steps, and it sits in there nicely. You can get some that are rounded to suit the pipe and you can just get flat ones. These ones are probably the most common and easiest to get and they work well. Now I've got a stainless steel one, but you can also get mild steel. So yeah, we're going to weld that on and then finish the exhaust. All right, so the next section of the exhaust that I'm putting in has got this flexible bit in it. So this bellow part is actually a flexi, and what that does is, obviously the front of the exhaust is solid mounted. There's no amount of flex here, there's just a little bit in this V-band twist, but obviously if I hit the ground, the exhaust is gonna wanna move. Now this is all tucked up fairly high, and for the height of the car, it shouldn't really ever hit the ground. I'm also gonna brace it here with a mount, but where I am worried is at the back. So what I'm gonna do is put a flex here at the front before it kicks up. There's a nice spot there to put the flex, and then the exhaust can keep going back. That way, the back of the exhaust won't be solid mounted, it's on rubber hangers, and this will allow some separation, so this side can move, this side will stay solid. So it's not a crazy amount. Obviously the longer flex you get, the more movement they have. We don't need a crazy amount, so this will work nice, and it looks pretty good sitting up there. So put that in, and we'll keep making the exhaust. All right, making great progress. I've done the hard part, so obviously the downpipe with all the bends, and then this section underneath the car. Got our flex section in, and then there's no more bends after this. It's basically straight back. Now, if this was a FD spec, you only have to dump behind the rear axle, so we could leave it there, and that would be good enough. But for some of the competitions I'm competing in, they mandate that the exhaust exits past the bodywork. So we're gonna kick it off with a 45 at the end, and it'll exit back. But what I'm gonna do is put a V-band here, so if I change bumpers or change things in the back, I can always just change the rear section without changing the whole exhaust. So put a V-band right here and we'll kick it off that way. Now I've hung the back of the exhaust with just a cable tie around the subframe, and the front here I've got on a jack stand, and I've positioned it pretty much perfectly, so we can just put a little pie cut or a bend in here and we'll be good to go. So that's pretty much the last bit of the exhaust, and then got our O2 sensor welded in. So we'll just wrap these last couple welds up and we'll see how it looks. Okay, so in terms of mounting the exhaust, we've got two options. First option is like this. This is literally just a piece of solid stainless bar. Solid mounting it at the front is okay because there's no amount of flex, so everything moves together. So this is okay because the downpipe is going to torque with the engine, and so is the gearbox, so this will all move together. However, after this flex, we need to have a rubber isolated mount. So there's a few styles of these mounts. So there's the factory style, which is just like a bar like this, and you just insert another bar, weld it to the exhaust, and that hangs it. There's this style that uses a rubber sort of plate. This is what I had before. Works, but it's got a lot of movement and I don't like it the best. So I think what we're going to do is use the factory hangers. So we've got one back here, that's right here obviously, and if I put a bar in there, the exhaust is going to want to hang down on this side because it's hung on this side. So what we're going to do is, I think I'm just going to weld a mount up here, hang it on this side. I'll just make a little 90, and then there'll be another hanger on this side, and then it will be supported going both ways, and then we'll have these at the back, and that'll keep everything in a nice spot. So I'll show you how to use the exhaust hanger bar, and then we'll get it mounted. This here is what you use for the exhaust hanger. It's literally just a stainless bar, nothing special. X4 sell this one. I've got the 10mm here, which matches the OEM exhaust hangers. So I'll show you how to bend this now. All right, so best way to bend this is just stick it in the vise. Now I'm just heating it up. You will notice that it started moving as soon as I started heating it up, because the metal will expand and contract and things like that. So just get it glowing hot and then we'll bend it. Now the way I do it is I heat the inside first, get that nice and hot, and then heat the outside. Since we're bending it this way, the outside is going to need the most heat. One thing to make sure is that you bend it before you cut it to length, otherwise you'll struggle to bend it. But right now you got all this leverage. That's now glowing hot. What I'm going to do is pull on it, and since it's hot there, it's going to want to bend there. And just like that, you have a 90-degree exhaust hanger. Now, you can also cut it and then weld it back together. I think bending it's just a little bit easier and it looks a bit nicer because it's seamless. All right, here's a hack if you're using an angle grinder. Now, after you make your cut, you'll notice that it's not perfectly straight. Now, obviously, if you're good at welding, you can just fill it, which obviously the filler is there. Now, tacking that can be a little bit hard. Welding it's not too hard with a little bit of a gap. Just put a little bit more filler, but tacking it can be a little bit more difficult. So here's what you do. Take a flap disc or a sanding disc and just put it evenly on the front. All right, after doing that for a few seconds, the face will be almost completely flat, and now you can butt up another pipe to it and it'll be super easy to weld. This part of the exhaust is almost done. Let's get it on the car. All right, so I've just finished the last part of the exhaust. This is the axle back, nothing crazy, just a bit of straight, a bend, and then I've got these teardrop tips. Now, obviously these tips don't match the quality of the rest of the exhaust. They are very, very rough compared to the rest. However, there is good reason for that. This is actually the first thing I ever welded. It was already on the car. I made this many, many years ago. Just for sentimental reasons, I wanted to keep it on the car, so I just modified it to match up with the 4-inch rest of the exhaust. So yeah, I've got these really sweet twin teardrop blasties. So the quality of them is way less good than the rest of my welds because I did these maybe 5 years ago. But yeah, should look sweet. Got some hangers mounted on there. I still got to trim them down, but let's go put it on the car and I'll show you how the whole exhaust looks. All right, so that's the rear section done. Obviously I'll clock this V-band, but I made a rear section so that if a track requires a muffler or anything like that, I can just simply put another V-band and make a quick change back. You know, if I change the rear bar or whatever, I can easily extend and shorten, do whatever I need to do there. But yeah, everything's nice and solid. Everything's on hangers. Yeah, it's got enough play. So it's super tucked, only a few mil gap, but still doesn't hit while it shakes. Beautiful, very happy with that. All right, so it has been a little bit of time since the last clips. I completely forgot to film an outro, so here it is. I wanna give a massive thank you to X-Force Exhaust. Every material you saw in this video, from the pipes to the clamps to the hangers and those pie cuts, were all supplied by X-Force Exhaust. They've got some crazy products, including the Varex system, which we're gonna be using in a future build. But yeah, pretty much anything exhaust-wise, they've got it, and they're not paying me to say this, but they did supply the parts in the video. So massive, massive thank you to X-Force Exhaust. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. Making an exhaust is really not that hard. All you need is really these parts and a little bit of patience, and you should be able to put together something really nice. The car has been through about over a year of drifting, and the exhaust is still holding up really well. Plenty of crashes and dirt drops and stuff like that. And the one thing that's been very, very reliable is the exhaust. There's no dents or anything. The X-Force materials are actually really, really strong. Plenty of times where I put this belly of this car on the concrete and nothing's really happened. So no cracks or anything, and everything's been sweet. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.